Today it feels like such a typical autumn day, and one that we've not really had yet, even though it's mid-November. The air is really damp, it's so foggy. It's not too cold, but all the leaves are turning and it's just really still, and there's a smell of bonfire in the air. But today we're going to head to the allotment and get warm in the shed to talk about my wedding flowers that I'll be growing for next year. Well, I've decided to sit outside the shed because even though it's a bit drizzly and damp, I just love this weather and just to be out here and hearing the birds. It'd be a shame to be in there where it's a bit dark and quieter. So yes, here I am, and today, as I say, we're going to talk about wedding flowers. And if you aren't familiar with me and my channel, then welcome. I have an allotment garden here in Nottingham where I grow a range of fruits and vegetables and some flowers, but things are going to change next year because I'm getting married. So yes, my plan is to grow as many of my own wedding flowers as I can, which is going to be quite different to how I usually have my allotment. And I thought, you know, I might as well do like a little series kind of following my progression and my learnings and my seed sowings in case you're interested in growing your own flowers. Obviously I've got a bit of experience doing this already, so if you're a complete newbie to gardening and growing things from seed, then maybe go to a florist. Don't just jump in at the deep end and, you know, think I'm just going to grow all of my own flowers. So I do have some experience already. But a lot of the things I'll be growing I haven't actually grown before, so there's going to be a lot of exciting trials and yeah, it's going to be really interesting. So if you don't already know, I've been with my fiancé for 10 years, and yeah, we've been going out all that time, and it was on our anniversary that he proposed. And essentially I'd kind of already pre-planned the day because I wanted to go to the Peak Districts. It's one of our favourite places, and I just had this urge to get back on a bike. So we did the Tissington Trail in Derbyshire, lovely smooth ride, had a brilliant day, the weather was glorious, went to Tissington Nursery, bought some plants, and it was just a really, really great day. And for the whole time he kept saying, oh, can we pop to Blidworth Woods on the way home, which is like one of our favourite woods to go on a walk round on a Sunday afternoon. And I was like, yeah, sure, because like, you know, the trail, the biking was my idea and he wants to do the woods. So I was like, of course, you know, didn't even question it. Even at like 5-6 o'clock when we were going home, it was like, oh, can we still go to the woods? And I was just like, yeah. Didn't question it, I was just going along with it because it's one of our favourite places. And so we had a long stroll, lovely little walk, and at one point the path in the woods got really, really narrow, so I had to walk in front of him. And then basically I turned around at one point and he was on one knee there with the ring proposing to me, and I was just in shock. I couldn't believe it was actually happening after all these years. And so yeah, that was the proposal, and we've already got plans in action. We're going to get married next year, 2023, in autumn time, early autumn. So that's the rough plan. I'm not going to go into loads of detail, but what I will be doing is sharing with you now the seed haul that I have, because I've bought loads of seeds. I'm already planning the flowers, and I'm just so excited. I should also mention that my lovely mother-in-law to be, Bev, she is a fully trained florist, so I think together we're going to make an awesome combination of skills, and we're hoping to team up, and if I grow the flowers, Bev is going to create the bouquets with the flowers that I grow. And it's just going to be such a lovely way to incorporate Bev in the wedding, and also just to make it really sort of personal to us all. So that's the plan. She's a very skilled lady, so if you're in Derbyshire, check out Bev's Flowers. She's on Instagram and Facebook, and yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool to see how this goes. And also, if it all goes wrong, which it may, then, you know, she knows where to buy flowers from. So it's going to be just interesting to see how we do this. Now, I've got to say, by the way, I may be mentioning sort of colour themes in here, but I don't know how my bouquet is going to look in the end. You know, some of these flowers may completely fail. I might choose more of one sort than another, but I've got a lot here. So I've got plenty of variety to choose from. And I just think that's the main thing for me, is to keep my options open and, you know, just know that there are going to be some failures. But yeah, let's keep positive for now. So let's talk seeds. Now, as I mentioned, it's going to be an autumn wedding, which means already you've got to think about what flowers are going to be growing and blooming at that time of the year. So I'm not going to be having any tulips, I'm not going to be having any daffodils, none of those sort of bulbs, even the alliums. Although they'll be great for seed heads, I won't be having them as fresh flowers. So yeah, you just got to think about that sort of thing. So yeah, my seed selection here is what should hopefully be flowering and blooming and looking great in the early autumn months. So let's get started. And all of these seeds are from Chiltern Seeds. I've bought from them before. They're a great company. Great that there was no plastic in the packaging, and I think they are especially good for flower seeds. They do vegetables as well and herbs, but they have a huge range on their website, and especially for flowers, that sort of thing, there's just a fantastic choice. So the first one that I have here is Nigella, which is Love in a Mist. Has those beautiful seed pods, and this is the one called Albion Green Pod, because you do get some that go sort of pinky coloured and purple. This one is going to be a green one. So because I've got an autumn wedding, these won't actually really be in flower, but I have the benefit of being able to dry things. So a lot of the flowers here will also be dried, or the seed pods, for instance. So that's the first one. I just love having lots of texture and shape, and yeah. So the next two actually are straw flowers, and I thought I'd got the white one in here, but apparently I don't. But I have golden yellow and orange. And if you've seen my previous video on straw flowers, you know how awesome they are. A couple of years ago, I grew them in abundance, and they're just so papery, and they're perfect for drying, making decorations with. And yeah, as you'll notice going through here, I've got quite a few sort of autumnal warm colours, as well as lots of whites. So yeah, I love my straw flowers, really easy to grow as well. But these won't be sown until the new year, going into sort of January, February time. The next one is called Limonium cingulatum iceberg, which is, the easy way of saying it is just called Status. And I haven't grown this before, but apparently it's a really popular flower for wedding florists, because you can dry these sprigs of flowers. They sort of arch over, and you've got little white flowers along the top. They do come in other colours, but I've chosen a white one. Apparently it's, yeah, really easy to grow. Won't be sowing it until February, March time, I think. And yeah, that's going to be a great one for drying. Now the next one is Rebecca, and the variety is called Sahara. So lots of sort of caramel, warm, burnt orange kind of tones. And I've not actually sown Rebecca's before, but you know, I do love that sort of big sort of sunflower shape. And I just think this selection of colours was absolutely gorgeous. And these are obviously a late bloomer, so they should be sort of flowering hopefully in the autumn time. But yeah, and it's also a semi-double flower, so lots of petals. Oh, now the next couple are scabious, and this one is called Scabiosa. I'm not going to pronounce that bit. Scabious. So you get that real sort of pinhead cushion type flower. I think this one's like a creamy white one, and then a really pretty little seed head. So you've got that double whammy, that if they're not flowering, then they'll be producing seed. So I can use them either as a cut flower or a seed head. And the next one has an even better seed head, which is why I'm growing it. Scabiosa stellata Sternkugel, drumstick scabious. So this one, how do I even describe that seed head? It's like lots of little upside down umbrellas in like a little cluster. And I just think they're so pretty. I've never grown them before. Let's hope they do well. Next up is zinnia, and I haven't grown zinnias for quite a long time. In fact, I think I might have only grown them once, you know, but I do know a fair bit about them, and that is you can't sow them until the soil is nice and warm. They are quite a late flowering, so they love that warmth, and also they don't like to be transplanted. So It's better to grow zinnias directly in the soil rather than putting in a seed tray, then pricking it out, moving it on. They don't like all of that, so you just got to be patient, wait for the weather to warm up, and then direct sow them. This one's called Benary Giant. It's a white one. And then we've got some amaranth. And again, I only grew this once, and I don't remember sowing the seed. It might have been from a mix and I just scattered it everywhere. Also called Love Lies Bleeding. This one is green Love Lies Bleeding. It's going to be great for fillers. If I end up with lots of it, you know, you can imagine a big old vase of it at the venue with all of those tassels sort of streaming down. I think that'd look really, really cool. I know they can take up quite a bit of space, so that's a little bit of a concern. And also they might need quite a bit of staking, excuse me, because they go so big and so heavy. So that's something I'm going to definitely have to think about. I thought I had another one in here called Hot Biscuits, which is kind of like a, I guess as the name suggests, it's like a caramelly bronze biscuity colour. Apparently I didn't order it, so maybe it was out of stock. I don't remember, but that's one I also want to grow. Oh, this one's an interesting name. Callistephus chinensis King Size Series Apricot. It's the annual aster, so it's a China aster, so not your little daisy-like asters. This is a big sort of blousy, almost dahlia kind of chrysanthemum-esque aster. Yeah, I've got a couple of these. So one is called King Size Apricot, then we've got King Size White, and we've got Lady Coral Salmon. Clearly I couldn't decide between all of the warm kind of corally colours, so I bought a couple. It's going to be an interesting one to grow. I have no idea how to grow them, so I need to do a bit of research on that. Although I do know that some people grow them in polytunnels, and I'm not sure why. So yeah, I definitely need to look that one up. And then we've got a couple of dahlias, and I've not actually grown dahlias from seed before. I always grow them from tubers, and I saw these on the website and I thought, you know what, they are very nice colours. This one here is called Sunny Reggae, and if I remember rightly, it's quite a peachy flower, single flower. Almost looks a little bit like an anemone, the autumn flowering anemones that is. And I think it had a few little, I don't know, something special going on with the petals. So hopefully that picture over there can help explain what I mean. And yeah, I'm just quite interested to grow some dahlias from seed before. They should flower in their first year just fine. And I've got another one called Bishop's Children, which I believe has that dark burgundy foliage that I like, and they're in a mix of different colours, autumnal sort of colours. And then the last one in my little packet here is Agrosis nebulosa cloudgrass, or fibre optic grass. Now, if you've been around here for a while, you know I do love my sort of ornamental grasses, and this one is quite similar to one that I already grow, but it's very open and loose, adds a lot of texture and movement, and just sort of a nice airiness to it. Aside from those, I will also be growing a lot more dahlias next year, particularly sort of white ones, and my favourite's under Mystery Fox, which is that orange ball shaped one, and things like cosmos. I've been saving a lot of my cosmos seeds, so I've already got a lot of white ones of those as well. And yeah, I'm just really excited and a little bit scared and a little bit nervous. Have you ever done anything like this before, growing your own flowers for a big event? It's going to be a bit of a challenge, and I think the things that I'm most scared about are the things that aren't in my control, like the temperatures and the wind, the drought, any storms. You know, I'm going to have to think hard about my staking and protection, and, you know, things like covering things when they're still quite young. But yeah, I think the main thing is that I'm going to be doing is overseeding, and just giving myself plenty of options. And that's not all as well, because I've got a lot of other foliage plants that I want to be growing as fillers. I've got a few shrubs that I've already bought, so I'll go over that another day. I just wanted to really share with you my sort of seed haul and my excitement at growing my own flowers for my wedding next year. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if you're interested in seeing more from this sort of series. And yeah, I'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.